Hello everybody, my name is Yeney Amaro, and today we're dedicating this segment to all you car lovers out there. Now what if I told you that you can hop into your car and speed as fast as your little heart desires, that you can go into any major speedway and not have to worry about anything, really? Come over here, I'll show you what I mean. Tag Systems Real Car Simulators are the world's first and only driver simulator that allow you to drive a real vehicle within a virtual world. With multiple models available, Tag Systems offers a customized driver experience. I'm here with Anthony Walsh, General Manager of Tag Systems. Anthony, tell us about your amazing company.
Thanks, Yeney. With the advancements of the gaming industry that's happening nowadays, we wanted to go one step further and be the leaders in the world. So we thought, what a better way than actually put a real car in a simulated world and drive it. Most simulators simulate an environment and the vehicle. We don't. We only simulate the world, and the car is actually in motion. To do that, we wanted to drive the vehicle onto a dynamometer, so the dynamometer could read how fast the car's going. And normally when you put a car on a dyno, you need to strap it down with chains, ratchet straps. It takes about 15-20 minutes. We wanted to do that in about 10 or 15 seconds, so we designed a bracket that fit on the inside of the rear wheel. And it basically fits to pre-drilled and tapped holes that are in the rear suspension arm. So if you can imagine this bracket on the other side of this wheel, mounted in the middle of the wheel rim like such, and inside the middle of the dyno we have a hold down system that's pneumatically operated. It comes across and up, and it has a pin on it, and it locates this bracket here as such, and the pin goes in and pulls down on the car so the vehicle can't go anywhere. So then you start the engine, and as the wheels spin, the dyno works out how fast the car's going. All that input goes into the computer. And next component of actually driving in the real world, you need to know where it's steering. Steering is detected by what we call a potentiometer. It's quite simply a wire that attaches to the tyre of the car. And as you turn the steering wheel, obviously the tyre of the car turns, and it measures the distance of that turning. So between the speed and the braking of the dynamometer into the computers, and also the detection of the steering angle into the computers, they mix it up and it drives the virtual world as you're driving the car. Obviously there's two other components of a vehicle that's actually happening while the car's being driven. One, it needs to be cooled. We have a cooling fan at the front of the car here to create the breeze throughout the radiator assembly and the engine assembly and underneath the chassis. And of course the other part is exhaust extraction. We have an extraction fan at the rear of the car, and ducting takes all of the exhaust out into the open air, so there's no problems about any fumes inside the building. So that's all the componentry that the car and the simulator needs. We need to drive the virtual world, and by that we purely have three projectors that are mounted on the trusswork above the car, and the imagery that projects is good for entertainment, as in NASCAR racing, circuit racing, drag racing, rallycross. It can also be done for driver education. It's basically endless. Whatever your imagination can come up with in the real world in a driving scenario can be totally replicated here in the virtual world. It can even replicate exact road networks to the millimetre and the signage if you like. It's perfect for driver education and entertainment alike.
So Anthony, you've shown us how the system works.
Yep.
How do you control it?
Quite simply, Yeney, it's operated by a little netbook here, and I can control one car, or I control 3 or 4 lanes altogether off this one netbook. You either can operate it from the rear of the screens here, or from a control desk, or even inside the cars. And as I said, if you have 3 or 4 lanes, they can all be controlled by this, and those 3 or 4 lanes are interactive, so you can all drive within the virtual world, and also the cars can actually have contact within the same virtual world. So, Yeney, if you're driving in front of me in a race and I can see the rear of your car, I can actually knock you into the world and you'll have to crash into a fence. I'll be pretty happy about that because I'll pass you.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in the car. We're almost ready to go. This is the driver learner portion of the program. Tell us a little bit about it. How do we get started here?
Well, Yeney, quite simply, all we do is we start the car and put it into gear and drive off. I've already chosen a selected program called Palm Cove USA, and you just drive as you would in the normal world and you'll get the same hazards in the normal world. So right here we've got a truck pulling out. See? Well done. Good work. And if that hazard wasn't enough for you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the driving conditions for you, and I can click on some snow and it's suddenly snowing.
Wow, look at that.
The traction on the car will also drop off as well too, so you'll have to drive a bit slower or you'll skid around the bends. And to take the snow off, I just click on snow once more, and I can put it onto fog if you like. The density of the fog can be changed as well, just on a drag and drop. As you can see, it's pretty thick at the moment, but I can quickly drag that down all the way and it's not too bad at all. Every car that you see on the scene has their own intelligence as well, so they don't just follow the same route each time, Yeney. They know exactly where you are and they do different things themselves as well. Some will obey the road rules, some won't. At the moment, I've got them all obeying the road rules, but if I click on the difficulty of the cars to harder, you will find that some cars will run red lights, some cars will fail to indicate, and some cars will tailgate you and what forth.
This is great. I mean, I'm sure that young kids going to school, this could be something just amazing for someone that's going to driver's education.
Exactly. All your driving errors that you make are actually recorded as well onto a printout form, and in fact we can actually record your drive as well, and at the end of the drive you get the printout of what errors you've made, whether they've got any demerit points next to them, and of course you can then play your DVD in your television and you can watch how you drove as well. So the lesson doesn't actually finish in the car, you can take the lesson home and see how you've gone and how you progress throughout your lessons as well. You want some fun? You've had your lesson. I'm going to put on and I'm going to give you a drag strip. I'm going to give you one of our underground car park drag strips, Yeney.
So here we are. I'm prepared. I'm psyched for it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
This is amazing technology. It's educational, it's fun, and best of all, it's safe. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a race to win.